Hey there, I'm Patricia, a 25-year-old freelance graphic designer with a passion for visual storytelling. Right now, I'm living with my older sister, Linda, in our childhood home. It's not exactly the dream setup for someone my age, but hey, it's affordable, and I honestly enjoy Linda's company. Well, most of the time. One evening, while we're lounging in our shared bedroom, Linda says, "Patricia, don't you think this room could use a makeover?" I look around at the faded posters and the mismatched furniture. Yeah, I guess it's a bit dated. What do you have in mind? Her eyes light up. I was thinking something sleek and modern. Professional, you know? Professional? I repeat, raising an eyebrow. It's a bedroom, not an office. While we both work from home sometimes, she says, undeterred. Wouldn't it be nice to have a space that's both comfortable and productive? I shrug, not entirely convinced but not wanting to dampen her enthusiasm. Sure, I guess we could explore it. The next day, we head to a furniture store, and Linda is like a woman on a mission, zeroing in on the priciest, most modern pieces. "Oh, look at this desk," she exclaims. "It's nice, I admit, but where would we put our vanity?" She waves a dismissive hand. "We'll figure that out later. Oh, and look at this minimalist bookshelf." As we move through the store, I notice she's making most of the decisions. Every time I point out something I like, she finds a reason why it doesn't fit. "What about this rug? It'd add a nice pop of color." Too busy. We're going for clean and simple, remember? By the end of our shopping trip, I feel like I barely had a say in any of it, but I remind myself that Linda's always had a better eye for design, right? Later that week, I meet up with my best friend Maya for coffee and tell her about the redecoration plans. Her brow furrows in concern. "Patricia, don't you think Linda's being a bit controlling? It's your room too." I feel a pang of defensiveness. "Oh, come on, Maya. She's just excited. Besides, she knows what she's doing." "If you say so," Maya replies, unconvinced. "Just make sure you're not getting steamrolled, okay?" I laugh it off, but as I walk home, a nagging doubt creeps in. Am I letting Linda take over? Nah, it'll be great to have a fresh new space. What could go wrong? Little did I know, that was just the beginning of a roller coaster that would test my patience, my relationship with my sister, and ultimately, my sense of self-worth. A week later, I had to leave town for a big client project. As I packed, Linda assured me she'd handle the redecorating. "Don't worry about a thing, Patricia," she said with a smile. "I've got it all under control. You'll love it when you get back." Despite a twinge of uneasiness, I pushed it aside. Linda was the design-savvy sister. What could go wrong? When I returned, exhausted but eager to see our new space, I opened the bedroom door and froze. The room was unrecognizable. Gone were the cozy throw pillows, the colorful art prints, the warm lighting. Instead, it looked like a minimalist office, white walls, sleek furniture, and not a trace of my personality. "Surprise," Linda exclaimed. "What do you think?" I stood there, struggling to hide my shock. It's very clean." I stammered, grasping for words that wouldn't hurt her feelings. Oblivious, she led me around the room. "Look at this ergonomic chair, and check out the built-in charging stations. Oh, and this desk, it's big enough for both of our laptops." As she rambled on about productivity and efficiency, I felt myself disappearing. "Linda," I finally managed to say, "where are my things?" "Oh, don't worry, I packed them up neatly," she said, gesturing toward the closet. My heart sank as I realized all my personal items, my art supplies, my books, even my favorite throw blanket, had been packed away, out of sight. "But where am I supposed to work on my illustrations?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Linda's brow furrowed in mild annoyance. "Well, you can use the desk when I'm not using it, or there's always the living room couch." Over the next few days, I watched helplessly as Linda claimed our bedroom as her exclusive workspace. She'd wake up early, park herself at the desk, and stay there late into the night. Every time I tried to use the space, she had a reason why she needed it more. "Sorry, Patricia, I've got a big presentation tomorrow. You don't mind working in the living room, right?" Or, "Oops, I forgot to mention I have a video call in 5 minutes. Could you clear out for a bit?" The final straw came one afternoon when I returned home to find our bedroom door locked. I knocked, confused. "Linda, are you in there?" "Yeah, just a sec," she called out. I heard rustling and then the click of the lock. She opened the door a crack, looking frazzled. Sorry, I was on an important call. Did you need something? I stared at her, disbelief washing over me. Linda, this is my room too. Why was the door locked? She had the grace to look slightly embarrassed. Oh, I just needed some privacy for this call. You understand, right? Fighting back tears of frustration, I turned away. This wasn't just about a room anymore. It was about respect, boundaries, and standing up for myself. I retreated to the living room, my new unofficial workspace, and pulled out my phone. I needed advice, and I knew exactly who to call. Maya, it's me. Remember when you said Linda might be a bit controlling? Well, you're not going to believe what's happened. After spilling everything to Maya, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. She listened patiently, then said, Patricia, you need to stand up for yourself. This is your home too. I knew she was right. Gathering my courage, I approached Linda that evening. Hey, can we talk about the room situation? Linda barely looked up from her laptop. What about it? Well, I feel like I've been pushed out of my own space. I can't work or relax in there anymore. She sighed dramatically. Patricia, you're being oversensitive. The room works perfectly now. It's not my fault if you can't adapt to a more professional environment. Her dismissive tone made my blood boil, but I held my tongue and walked away. Over the next few days, I started noticing other little things, how Linda always chose the TV shows, borrowed my clothes without asking, and volunteered me for favors without consulting me first. Then, one day, I overheard her on the phone with a friend. Yeah, I totally got Patricia out of the room. Now I have this amazing office all to myself. She's so easy to manipulate, it's almost sad. My heart shattered. This wasn't just thoughtlessness, it was deliberate. I retreated to the bathroom, fighting back tears as I splashed water on my face. Enough was enough. No more Miss Nice Sister. I decided to start keeping a log of Linda's behavior. The times she locked me out, the snide comments, the way she dominated our shared spaces. It felt sneaky but also empowering. For once, I was taking control. Then came the discovery that changed everything. While searching for a missing bill, I stumbled upon our shared bank statement. My eyes widened as I scrolled through the transactions. Expensive lunches, shopping sprees, salon visits, all charged to our joint account, which was supposed to be for household expenses only. Hey, Linda. I called out, my voice shaking slightly. Can you explain these charges? Linda sauntered over, glancing at the screen. Oh, those. Just some work expenses, no big deal. Work expenses? I asked incredulously. From Nordstrom and that fancy sushi place downtown? She shrugged nonchalantly. You know, client meetings and stuff. About to look the part. I stared at her, seeing her clearly for the first time. This wasn't my loving sister. This was someone who saw me as nothing more than a convenience, a doormat to be used. That's it, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I'm moving out. Linda's eyes widened in shock. What? Don't be ridiculous, Patricia. Where would you go? But I am leaving, I replied, surprising even myself with the firmness in my voice. I'm done being taken advantage of. As I started mentally planning my exit, a whirlwind of emotions washed over me, fear of the unknown, sadness for the sister I thought I had, but mostly an overwhelming sense of relief. For the first time in months, I felt like I could finally breathe. I picked up my phone, hands trembling slightly. Maya, it's me again. Remember how you said I could crash at your place if I needed to? Well, I think it's time to take you up on that offer. As I hung up, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. The woman staring back looked different, stronger, more determined. I realized that this wasn't just about moving out of a toxic situation. It was about reclaiming my life, my space, and my self-respect. From the other room, I could hear Linda's voice, already on another work call, oblivious to the seismic shift that had just occurred. But that was okay. She'd find out soon enough, and this time, I wouldn't be backing down. The next week was a blur of hushed phone calls and hurried coffee meetups with Maya. Planning my escape like a secret mission. Every time Linda left the house, I would sneak around, packing bits and pieces of my life into boxes. I felt like a secret agent in my own home, trying to stay one step ahead of her. Finally, moving day arrived. My stomach churned as I heard Linda's alarm go off. This was it. I took a deep breath and knocked on her door. Linda, we need to talk. She opened the door, irritation etched on her face. Patricia, I'm busy. What is it? I held up a folder. I know about the financial stuff, the personal expenses, the misuse of our joint account. It stops now. Her face went pale. What are you talking about? You're being ridiculous. Am I? I asked, opening the folder to show her the bank statements. I have proof right here, and I'm done. I'm moving out today. Linda's demeanor changed in an instant. Come on, Patricia, don't be hasty. We can work this out. You know you need me. But I stood my ground. No, I don't. I need respect, and you clearly can't give me that. I expect you to repay every cent you took for personal use. Her eyes narrowed, venomous words spilling from her lips. You ungrateful little, after everything I've done for you. You'd be nothing without me. That's where you're wrong, I replied, surprised at how calm I felt. I'm going to be just fine without you. I grabbed my bags and walked out, Linda's angry shouts fading behind me. Maya was waiting for me outside, and as we drove away, I felt a massive weight lift off my shoulders. At Maya's place, I settled into my new room. It wasn't huge, but it was mine. I sat at my desk by the window, arranging my art supplies just the way I like them. How does it feel? Maya asked from the doorway. I looked around, a smile spreading across my face. It feels like freedom. That night, I sat at my new desk and sketched for the first time in months. Ideas flowed freely, uninhibited by the fear of judgment or interruption. For the first time in ages, I felt alive and creative, like the real Patricia was finally re-emerging. I never thought I'd have to choose between family and self-respect, but I did. Would you have done the same in my shoes? Share your thoughts in the comments.